Even as a dragon's eye that feels the stress, by William Wordsworth.
I teach English 9, and that's 9th grade English. And I teach reading workshop, which is a course to help students develop their reading skills. And I teach Monsters in Our Midst, a senior elective class, which is a course about monsters, reading literature about monsters. And Yukon English, which is a course that students can take and get 4 Yukon credits. It's basically the freshman Yukon writing class.
Even as a dragon's eye that feels the stress of a bedimming sleep, or as a lamp suddenly glaring through sepulchral damp.
I don't like doing the same thing over and over again. And so being a teacher is kind of like having 100 tabs open on your computer at the same time. So at any one time, anything could be happening and responding and adjusting to that. That's the fun part. Everything is always changing.
The lake below reflects it not. The sky, muffled in clouds, affords no company to mitigate and cheer its low.
My first interest was in the subject of English. I wanted to work with literature and language and do extensive study of that. As I have worked through my career, I've become far more interested in the craft of teaching, in pedagogy, and how one goes about making the best opportunities for students to learn. So I kind of started out with a real interest in the subject matter, and I've ended up with a great deal of interest in the craft, the art of teaching.
Perhaps are seated in a domestic ring, a gay society.
You know, there's a famous, reasonably famous educational thinker. Her name is Bell Hooks, and she talks about students becoming enlightened witnesses to the world. In other words, they're able to see the world for what it is and understand the many forces and ideologies that are at play in their world. And based on that analysis, make some of their own decisions, having to be most effective for them and that have some moral grounding.
Round the body of that joyless thing which sends so far as melancholy life.
As head of the English department, I think my primary responsibility is to make sure that everybody in the English department has an opportunity to work to the best of their ability and do the best with the skill sets that they have. It seems like that's what a good leader does, is make sure everybody has an opportunity to be as successful as they can.
What's the rhyme scheme?
As an advisory teacher, I provide some sense of stability for kids to know that there is somebody in the school who kind of looks out after them and pays attention to them. And if there's nobody else who's doing that with them, if they haven't found someone, an adult in the school they can turn to, well then they know they've got me. I got your back.